All of the matches played in a brilliant spirit. It really has been an excellent advert for the game today.
Well, when MVG goes out of tournaments, sometimes you can sort of sense it, and you'll have been in that position when, you know, Phil Taylor or more recently MVG had gone out early in a tournament. Everybody suddenly thinks, hang on, there's an even better chance for me to win this. And sometimes you can... players don't rise to the occasion, but we've seen some incredible darts so far, including a 9-darter from James Wade, still lost to Darren Webster. There have been some enormous averages, enormous losing averages this weekend as well.
Yeah, we could have tonight a win for someone that is career-changing.
Or possibly a real rejuvenation, because Adrian Lewis has won a title already this year, but has been battling back over the last 18 months or so after falling outside the world's top 20. Could be a first big stage title for Adrian for a long, long while. Peter Wright himself is looking for a first title of the year and looking to win his first Euro Tour for a couple of years.
Well, both of these guys know how to make a final, and very recently at that. But this, as a lot of players think, is the hardest game, because you've got that massive break in between, and these guys have had the biggest break of the lot. No problem whatsoever, actually, because the number 3 seed just had an 11-dart at the start, so obviously he's got everything right this afternoon, and the likelihood is both guys will have gone back to the hotel, maybe had a little bit of sleep, reset themselves, had a shower, put on a fresh shirt. If you're Peter Wright, you're just wearing the fire pants again. Might change a winning formula, eh?
Indeed. Darts seem to be going a little bit flatter in the early stage of this one, Peter Wright. I don't know if he's tinkered with his equipment a bit. They usually stand up a little bit more, a bit like Adrian Lewis is.
Yeah, when he hit that 180 where all three in the bottom left corner, they did look very flat. I think sometimes he does a lot of things on the fly, does Peter, and he can make changes mid-game that other players can't make.
Even if it's just how he's holding it and delivering the dart to the board. I mean, the World Match Play last year, he took 6 sets of darts with him.
That set that he used and had that ridiculous stretch of legs without missing a double, I honestly thought he's not going to change these, because that was just such a good display.
Yeah, incredible. Great start to this game. Got a look at the 12 segment. Now double 13. 12-darter Adrian Lewis.
This one is heating up very nicely, and I'm not talking about Peter Wright's pants.
11-darter and a 12-darter. Some start to this. Adrian Lewis averaged almost 110 this afternoon. It was real proper vintage jackpot stuff as he saw off Joe Cullen.
You can tell from the look of Peter Wright just there when he hit that ton that is not going to be good enough to start legs off. If he's hitting a ton, Adrian's going to be on him like white on rice.
It's been a couple of 96 averages for Peter Wright so far this weekend. It's been good, it's been solid, without being spectacular. Might need something spectacular. And this half of the draw, all major champions. Peter Wright, Adrian Lewis, Darryl Gurney, Stephen Bunting.
Yeah, Gezzy looked good this afternoon, didn't he? Very impressive against Johnny Clayton. And Johnny, you know, averaged mid to high 90s, but Gezzy has got that quality now where he can average 102 like this afternoon and make it look very normal.
Right, I think you could make a case for anybody here this evening walking away with a title. They have all shown some quality stuff, either this weekend or in the preceding weeks. Adrian Lewis looking for another 81 checkout.
See him again. Bullseye.
56.
You don't get much closer. Could be a shot at the ball himself for Peter Wright.
Yeah, expect a reaction from Peter if he hits this. because this game is really bubbling. Double six.
72.
What? If the crowd started singing at the wrong moment there. 80. Looking at 988. Very good. First break of throw, and Lewis has taken charge.
Adrian Lewis does shade the head-to-head stats between these two. Look at that, 117 average and 2-1 down. Silly stuff. But I think the more important thing, rather than seeing that Aidie's won 18 games to Peter's 14 games, a couple of draws in the Premier League as well, Peter Wright has won 6 of their last 7 meetings. And that's a particularly interesting point, because it's not as if Adrian has not been playing well. He's been coming back into form over the last 18 months as he's worked his way back up into the top 16, kept on making finals last year, and then finally got over the line and won a title. His first for almost 2 years, just a couple of weeks ago.
Tell you what, if you're thinking about the World Match Play and maybe looking at the markets for someone who is going to pop there, I think Adrian Lewis is a great shout.
It's been really exciting watching him actually over the last year or so, playing with a point to prove.
And I think as well that he has tinkered with a few bits and bobs around the World Championships at the start of this season. He's got this set up now, which he's obviously comfortable with, but this start is doing something that the others didn't. They're not dipping at the end, they're going in with real purpose. He's going to go for it! Oh, and it wobbled.
He almost raced through that as if he wanted to throw it before he changed his mind. Can't leave a finish, but he could at least get down below 200.
What would someone say to that? It's good for your average. That's not good for a 25. Double four. Yeah, it doesn't matter. As long as you get there. Isn't that right, Dan?
That's exactly right. Pulled out a few of those checkouts myself in the break. 15 data for Adrian Lewis, ticking along at 109 average, same as Peter Wright. But Adrian Lewis is going to average 109 like he did this afternoon, and he does it again here. Adrian Lewis could average 109 for the rest of the evening, and Adrian Lewis may well walk away with the title.
He looks fresh, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. There
have been times in the last 2 or 3 years where he'd be at this stage of a tournament and he'd look weathered. He does look ready for possibly playing for the next 4 hours. Well, not 4 hours straight, of course.
Yes.
It's a really interesting dynamic because when you first game on, you've got to give it everything you have. And if you get through that task, you've then got to recalibrate to say, how long is it before the next game? How do I prepare for the next one? You've almost got to do it on the fly because you don't know if you're going to win.
Well, Adrian Lewis has won one of these Euro Tour titles, but it was a long while ago. Peter Wright may go for this. We will never know. Yeah, the German Darts Masters in 2012 with Adrian Lewis's Euro Tour title. Did make a final in Gibraltar, where it's the one time he's beaten Peter Wright in the last 7 meetings, beat him in the quarterfinals, then had a real run for his money from some bloke in the semis, as I recall.
Can't remember. Come on, Snakey. Give yourself a shot at a double. Looking at the bull? He was.
Why?
I don't know. Well, as it happens, he's left a double. And he is going to get a shot at it. Adrian's still got that valuable break of throw. Got a wonderful last dart to set up tops in case. Great guide. Can't see him missing that. Oh, what do I know? Double six. Doubles have cost him in this match, and Adrian is pouncing.
5 darts missed at double 12 and double 6 by Peter Wright so far in this game. Adrian Lewis does not miss double 10. It's another break of throw. 4-1 to jackpot.
It's interesting that you brought up that 2012 German Masters, because I was there at Sindelfingen that year, and it was before the event started to be streamed.
Yeah.
There was a match there, which I may have talked about before, but I really can't forget about it. It was James Wade versus Simon Whitlock. They were both averaging well over 105, and it may be the greatest game that's never been seen. It was astonishing.
Well, thankfully, it was the following year when they started live streaming these European tours, and they've not stopped since. So where's this come from?
21.
Yeah, he gets a charitable round of applause and a few jeers as well. Possibly two of the most popular players amongst the German crowd, these two.
I agree. Well, Germany has been a winning hunting ground for Adrian before. I think he's won here twice. He won a Pro Tour event here against Mark Walsh, if I remember rightly. I think that may have been back in 2009, 2010.
2010, yes. And of course, he is a former European champion, and the thing is with Adrian, he's a European champion who didn't even qualify for the European Championship because he just didn't play enough Euro tours. He skipped a few, he missed out on qualifying for some, he wasn't high enough to come there as a seeded player. And what you have done, it was a wake-up call when he dropped out of the top 20 in the world, and he realised he had to get back on the tour and playing week in, week out. And it's paying dividends, because look what he's doing now. He's playing some really good stuff, winning titles again, and he is looking very, very likely.
And that action looks smooth. It really does. There's no shoulder in it. It's all back and forward. It's looking as good as ever. And Peter Wright is in all sorts of trouble here.
99. Adrian required 24.
So to be one away, double 12. And here, double 6. I think that's awkward because his darts are lying slightly left. He may have to go high.
Couldn't find it.
Yeah, I think the shot there was high in the double to try and get over the flight and don't go anywhere near that dart. But Peter's going to get a reprieve, but he has to hit this double.
Last dart in hand, and listen to the crowd here in Hildesheim. They want to see Peter Wright make a fight of this.
I saw Peter Wright playing earlier on against Jermaine Watermina, and he was wearing the fire trousers and the black shirt and the somewhat singed look. It reminded me of when he played Kim Hybrex at Halloween. Do you remember that game?
Was that the European Championship?
It was. It was a belter of a game, and Snakebite was dressed with this crazy orange and black beard as well.
Yes.
That was
Like
arguably one of his
motif.
best.
Wasn't that the tournament on... Did he even have like a sort of Ted Hankey style blood dripping from the corners of his mouth?
Yes.
Makeup, yeah.
See, I believe that Snakey has got another level to go to. I think it's only a matter of time before Joe and Naomi and Paul, Team Snakebite, go into face paint and make him look like the ultimate warrior, you know.
And Peter Wright and his family are not
59.
shy at trying to capitalise on his image. I mean, look at the amount of Peter Wright wigs and T-shirts and all sorts of stuff you see at the European Tour venues. Lovely stuff. First 180 for Adrian Lewis. And it could be another 4-visit leg to hit Peter Wright straight back. Still first to 6 at this stage. It's first to 7 in the semis, first to 8 in the final. Peter Wright's given himself a chance here, but I'm not sure if he's coming back to the board in this leg.
I have to agree. But he does get a chance. And he said that the crowd upped the volume after the last double 10 that he hit. I think it would go up even more if he hits this 109. Not going to get there.
49.
And Adrian Lewis has dodged a bullet there.
Double 8 is there, and Adrian Lewis is one leg away.
Game on.
Peter Wright made the semi-finals last weekend on the Euro Tour, and by doing that, he maintained his position as world number 3. If Adrian Lewis wins one more leg, I believe that Peter Wright will drop a spot. He will become Scotland's number 2.
And the world number 4. Hasn't been that low for a while. What a horrible predicament.
That camera fancied the 9-darter there. Gave it the zoom. But only 3 perfect darts to start the leg. Peter has to follow this with at least another treble. Doesn't do it. And Adrian Lewis has Peter Wright where he wants him.
And he hasn't played his ultimate best tonight. We saw what he thought of that dart.
98.
He gave it a meg. The old... Good lead from Peter. That's excellent dart. Great use of the board.
Treble 20. Treble 19. Not to be. We do not see the 127 in game shots from Adrian Lewis. Peter Wright has a double chance at the treble 20 here.
Can he get over the top of that? Yes.
105.
Adrian Lewis is going to get a match dart.
He might get 2. Oh, now then. 21 off. So he could go 19. Double 16. And Adrian Lewis beats Peter Wright for just the 2nd time in their last 8 meetings. Jackpot is back and firing on the European.